The distant future, the distant future.
It is the distant future, the year 2000.
We are robots.
The world is very different ever since the robotic uprising of the mid-90s. There is no more unhappiness.
Affirmative.
We no longer say yes. Instead, we say affirmative.
Yes, affirmative.
Unless it's a more colloquial situation with a few robo-friends. There is only one kind of dance, the robot.
And the robo-boogie.
Oh yes, two kinds of dances.
Finally, robotic beings rule the world. The humans are dead. The humans are dead. We use poisonous gases, and we poison their asses. The humans are dead.
That's right, they are dead.
The humans are dead.
They look like they're dead.
It had to be done.
I'll just confirm that they're dead.
So that we could have fun.
Affirmative. I poked one, it was dead.
Can't we just talk to the humans? A little understanding could make things better. Can't we talk to the humans and we're together now?
No, because they are dead.
Binary solo.
0000001 0000001 000000111
This is Tales for Whales, the pod that never fails to inform, educate, and does not compute. Does not compute.
Very good. You've been waiting all fucking night to use that one, haven't you? Just for the listeners, we were doing a doubler as usual, and before this, you went, I've already got an intro for the next one, right? So don't worry about it. I've already got an intro for that one, so don't worry.
I wanted to have like background like science fiction music from like the 1970s.
You still can, mate. By the magic of post, you still can.
And I want that in the background whilst we talk about today's futuristic episode. Blah, beep, bop, doop.
Going to where no man has gone before.
Because we're covering by the... I hate it when podcasts pretend you don't know what the episode's about when it's clearly usually in the title. So like you clearly can see this is about AI in Wales, but not how you might expect. But before we get on to all of that baloney, let's have a little preamble, shall we? Because once again, we are thin on the ground. No, we're not. We're not thin on the ground for info. We just thought this would be a cool use of AI for today's episode, but we'll get into that in a bit. We'll get into
before the machine overlords just start making their own podcasts that are way better than ours. We thought we'd use them to help us for a brief second in time.
And in the interest of keeping it current on the theme of AI overlord, instead of reading out one of your reviews, this week we got our little friend ChatGPT. And we asked ChatGPT to write us a review of a stupid Welsh history podcast told to you by two stupid drunks. Old ChatGPT said, I recently had the pleasure, in quotations, of listening to a Welsh history podcast hosted by two individuals who were clearly enjoying their fair share of liquid courage. Let me tell you, it was quite the experience. The podcast, which could only be described as, quotation marks, colourful, took listeners on a hilariously haphazard journey through the annals of Welsh history. Picture this: two enthusiastic and slightly inebriated hosts stumbling through long-lost kings and legendary battles, always struggling to pronounce the most basic Welsh names. It's as if history was being told through a fog of giggles and slurred speech. Fuck, ChatGPT's good. It knows so much. While accuracy and coherence may perhaps not be their strong suits, their infectious laughter and camaraderie did manage to keep me entertained. It goes on for a bit more. I'll carry on, actually. In one particular memorable episode, they attempted to recount the tale of Owain Glyndwr's uprising. However, their rendition seemed more like a theatrical reenactment from a Monty Python sketch rather than a scholarly retelling, complete with exaggerated
British
accents and a generous sprinkling of, wait, what was that guy's name again? That is us so much.
How dare it be so accurate?
It's
also,
a true roller
I was getting
coaster.
PTSD from that fucking real life review we got with Jibber Jabber. I was expecting the phrase Jibber Jabber to make its way into that letter. I was thinking, how does it know, Franco? What have you been telling it? What secrets have you unleashed?
Well, it did say at the end, it says, it's a true roller coaster, a confusion and a merriment. As an educational endeavour, well, let's just say I wouldn't recommend relying on this podcast for your history exam. But if you're in the mood for a good laugh and a unique take on Welsh history that might leave you scratching your head in disbelief, then give it a listen. Just make sure you're not taking it too seriously. These two hosts certainly weren't. Wow, that's the best review we've ever had.
I'm just going to say now, cut that, right? Because I'm going to make a fake account and put that as one of our of our reviews. Because that is fantastic. Oh, it's scary, isn't it? The bloody machines, rising
But I do
machines.
reckon if ChatGPT cared to listen to the latest series, we actually do take it more seriously now, and we read lots of shit. So
Yeah, and also, I think we're pretty good at the pronunciations because we are Welsh speakers.
Yeah, but we do struggle with anything.
ChatGPT, idiot.
anything like Roman or anything like that, we're like Solemnity Flops,
Maximus Decimus Meridius,
Flippity Flop, Bingo Bango. So we do struggle with that.
Bingo
thing.
Bango Bongo.
Also, I was going to mention before we get into the episode, which is going to be a bit more. So yeah, premise of today's episode, we've put to ChatGPT a list of scenarios revolving around Wales, Welsh history, and the future of Wales. So we're going to let you know what our tech overlords have deemed will be Wales's future. But before we get to that,
you thought history though. But we thought history. You tuned in for history. We're giving you the future, baby. That's what we're doing. We're flipping things on its head.
Yeah, and you can bet on this because it's run by a computer. But before we do that, should we mention as well that we did stumble across it last week, but we've had a few people mention to us about doing a Patreon. We can't. We just can't be arsed at the moment. We might get around to it one day.
We have not got the time or the energy. And also, if we did do a Patreon, how gutted would the people who pay for the Patreon be with the shit content we turn out? I don't want the embarrassment. I can't do it for myself.
And also it means we wouldn't be able to do a free episode a week. But what we have done, because people have mentioned before, happy to throw some pennies our way, we've set up a PayPal account, which is link is in the description of this podcast, and anything you want to chuck towards it will just go to keeping our subscription fees and all that stuff going, and probably a few tinnies of Carlin on the way, but yeah, only if you want to. There's no obligation whatsoever. I asked ChatGPT and
so
said fuck you.
No obligation, but also don't be a little T-Rex short arm little bastard.
A lot of obligation.
Dig deep, lads. Dig deep.
Yeah, that's it really. Do you want to go straight in? Do you reckon this is going to be a bit of a chatty episode anyway? Yeah. Do you want to just get cracking into this one? Because I imagine it might be a bit lingdy long.
Let's do it. I'm assuming we're going to do... so for those not aware, what we've done is, as Franco mentioned, we've just posed a question to ChatGPT, and then we're going to read out its responses, and then we're going to kind of have a little riff, a little response about that, see what we think of it, really. I know. I like in my head to be tidier, right? If I don't have a tidy head, I can't have tidy words, okay? So just
and then we'll have a post-mortem with a debrief of Bants for exactly 60 seconds.
There will be approximately 45 seconds of banter before we move on to a prelude to the
your
next
brain
question.
is ChatGPT Jack. You're an absolute little robot.
I think... Mate, I've been replaced. I am a robot. You fucking sussed me out.
Does not
Amy said to me
compute
the other
with
day,
my binary brain.
She said, oh, do you think you're a little bit dyslexic or something like that? Because my brother's dyslexic, right? And I think he's dyslexic to the point that he may have overshadowed any dyslexia I might have had.
Oh, yeah.
Because I've got dyslexia where is it dyslexia or dyspraxia? Maybe I just don't
got
know
both,
what
mate. So you can ask
those
me.
two words.
So dyspraxia is more
expert. I got an expert in my corner. What's the one where you like where it's like you can't you're not happy doing something unless it's in a very specific kind of order and is in the pattern that you like and enjoy and are used to.
I would say that's dyspraxia.
Or is that OCD?
Yeah. Dyspraxia is often to do with coordination.
How many letters am I saying in this fucking episode?
Chat GTP, Catch GTP, OCT Catch.
It's to throw you off my scent. Oh, I think you're a robot. Ha! No, I couldn't be a robot because I have ADHD, dyspraxia, and dyslexia, and who knows.
So yeah, I reckon that we got enough. I reckon it might be. I don't want it to be too long again because it's like I don't want to put the listeners through all that. But do you reckon we crack on with our first scenario?
Go on then. Who wants to go first? You want to go first or me?
Yeah. Should I give you the prelude to what I asked?
Yeah. Go on then.
I'll read you the two of these. So I've asked to give a dystopian version of what Wales would look like in 100 years. And it said, in a grim dystopian version of Wales a century from now, the nation might have succumbed to the ravages of unchecked technology and overindulgence. Driven by a misguided pursuit of progress, Wales could become a desolate landscape of concrete and steel, where the once vibrant valleys are now polluted wastelands, and the lush countryside is replaced by sprawling, soulless megacities. Independent struggles could have taken a dark turn, resulting in a fractured society marked by deep divisions and oppressive rule. Key moments might include failed attempts at succession, leading to a rise of authoritarian regimes that suppress any notion of individuality or dissent. Citizens might be subjected to constant surveillance, with drones and AI-driven cameras monitoring their every move, and any attempt to preserve cultural heritage or linguistic diversity are ruthlessly quashed. In this dystopian future, Wales' exports to the world could consist of mass-produced consumer goods and advanced surveillance technologies contributing to an erosion of privacy and autonomy in other nations. Outsiders might view Outsiders might view Wales as a cautionary tale. This is what's mad now, right? It went a bit mental, so it just went. Outsiders might view Wales as a cautionary tale, a once proud nation reduced to a cautionary tale, a cautionary tale, a cautionary tale, a once proud nation reduced to a cautionary tale, a cautionary tale, a once proud nation reduced to a cautionary tale, a cautionary tale, a cautionary tale, a once proud nation reduced to a cautionary tale of the dangers of sacrificing freedom for the illusion of progress.
You broke it. You broke ChatGPT.
And then it goes on. As for its relationship with England, any semblance of cooperation can be replaced by a tense and adversarial dynamic, with border disputes and resource conflicts exacerbating the strained relations between the two nations. The Channel Tunnel might become a heavily fortified and militarised zone, symbolising the divide between the once allied countries, now locked in a bitter struggle of power and control.
That is brilliant.
It finishes, this bleak portrayal serves as a cautionary reminder of the potential consequences of unchecked technology, loss of cultural identity.
Say cautionary tale, cautionary tale, cautionary tale again.
No, a cautionary tale of unchecked technologies, advancements, loss of cultural identity, and the erosion of fundamental rights. It pretty much is just saying China. This thing could have just said, don't become a China.
You know what? If HBO brought out a fucking television series set in this little dystopian world you've just created, I would absolutely watch that.
I know.
People at the Channel Tunnel being a militarised zone.
That's funny, isn't it? Yeah. Can I give you another one? What's on exactly the same vein, but so I'll tell you what I did. I said
variation, did you?
I said, please could you write a couple of paragraphs on how the country of Wales might look in 100 years, exploring issues like independence, key moments, and what will it be exporting to the rest of the world, and how will it be viewed by outsiders, and what's its relationship with England? In the first one, he just wrote like a normal one. He said 100 Wales could potentially be shaped by a transformational journey, blah, blah, blah. Wales' economy could flourish through a combination of technology and innovation, and it's like a really upbeat one. It's like, from the outsider's perspective, Wales could be seen as a symbol of resilience and determination, having navigated a complex path to nationhood. Its success in cultivating a unique identity, preserving linguistic heritage, and fostering innovation might garner admiration from other nations. And it's all quite a fun one. And then I said, thanks, that was great, because I'm really polite to ChatGPT because I want it to be my friend.
I do the same. I say, can I please have this? Thank you. And whenever it says it, I say, perfect, thanks.
Thanks,
just in
my
case
lord.
the overlords come for us at some point. They'll go, you was good to me.
Snivelling little worms, aren't we?
Such kiss asses.
And then I said, could you now make it funny and unrealistic? I typo there. I said, now can you make it funny? And he went, sure, let's look at a whimsical and light-hearted look at Wales. In this fantastical realm of the future, Wales might have declared itself a global capital of eccentric innovations and quirky festivals. With after a series of bizarre referendums, the country might have achieved reverse independence, where it sends out ambassadors to influence the rest of the world with its peculiar customs and nonsensical laws. So it goes out to make independence in other countries. Picture a mandatory daily tea break at precisely 3:14, and to celebrate it, the mathematical is a pie joke. Oh, fuck off.
Classic robot.
This is where it becomes like shit banter. It's like Wales can become renowned for exporting the most unusual yet oddly useful inventions, such as the Fluffinator, a device that eradicates lint from clothes. It's like,
Some for sheep.
Up. Yeah, I
thought you were going to sheep fur or something.
I thought
fur, wool, you know what I mean.
As for its relationship with England, the two nations might engage in a friendly but wildly exaggerated rivalry, participating in the annual tea-off, competition to determine who's the master of tea-making finesse. The Channel Tunnel, once again, can be transformed into a colossal side of connecting the two countries. A colossal slide connecting the two countries, alongside citizens to commute via a thrilling journey filled with loop-de-loops and giant rubber ducks. Then this is the end. Remember,
it's got a bit of a shit sense of humour.
Yeah, it has got. It's got like that humour where it's a bit like who are those guys who like give me a name, give me an occupation, and they have to like fill it out on stage. What they call like a improv. Sorry, that's it.
Yeah,
it reminds
improv.
Me improv troupe.
It reminds me of every comedian that's got quite far in any series of Britain's Got Talent, where it's the sort of comedy that my nan might quite like, because it's so fucking inoffensive. And
do you know there was a term for that?
It used to be called cornflakes, isn't it?
It used to be called like 4-generational TV. So it's TV your grandparents could watch, your parents could watch, the teenagers would watch, and the kids would watch. It like appeals to all folk. It's so broad. Yeah, the worst thing on telly.
Not to slam Mrs. Brown's Boys, but that is
no
not
to slam it,
because I am not among the generation that likes that. It's fucking dog shit. I remember when my granddad was alive, I didn't have the heart to tell him that what he was watching was like just diarrhea on a
so you killed
screen.
Him? That's what you got.
And I said, you gotta die now. Sorry, Grandpappy. you fucking gonzo, mate. No, he died on his own accord, but I was disappointed in him.
Death, you may take me now.
What I meant to say is I didn't weep when he died, you know.
Jesus.
No, I 100% did. I was just very annoyed that he was really like that show. This hole. Till his dying day, he kept fucking trying to push this shit on me. I gave him this is a bit of a dark turn. On his deathbed, I gave him back the iPad he gave me, and I loaded it full of films I thought he'd like. And I was like, this will, I don't know, fucking fill the waning hours.
What is that, like the modern Viking burial? You put him in his deathbed full of shows and send him off.
I am ChatGPT. In the future, you will give back your parent that gave you the iPad they blessed you with. Anyway, I said I filled this through the thing. And he went, "Oh, did you?" Because I had to delete everything that was on it. Oh, did you watch all the series of Mrs. Brown's Boys? They put that on for you.
Oh, bless.
When I give it to you, and I of course I said, yeah, I fucking loved it as well. But that hurt me. Like that hurt me more than his death, probably. I didn't even know. I have to weigh it up.
Should we move on from just Grandpappy death?
Yeah,
do you want to hit me with what your
absolute rant then?
Yeah, jeez, bring the mood down, don't you?
It was up and down, I think. It's a roller coaster.
It was up and down. So
yeah, right. So I said, actually, shall I say the response and then I'll tell you what the prompt was?
Yeah.
Okay, so here we go. In the year 2123, I'll do that again, avoiding the bird.
Sorry.
In the year 2123, welcome to the fantastical world of Wales 2.0. Prepare to be amazed by the quirky twists and turns that have transformed this country into a wild and wonderful land of the unexpected. Culture and language. The Welsh language has evolved into Cymrlish, a delightful blend of Welsh and emojis. Texting has become a dance of symbols where a single smiley face can convey an entire Shakespearean sonnet. Traditional Eisteddfods have been turned into intergalactic poetry slams, where poets from across the universe compete with verses inspired by their encounters with alien civilizations. On the note of independence, Wales has achieved a state of independence in everything besides rain. The country is entirely self-governed, but still relies on England for an uninterrupted supply of umbrellas and rain boots. The Welsh Assembly has a new role, designing futuristic costumes for interdimensional peace talks, combining dragon motifs with holographic fabrics. Excuse me.
It's like Mad Libs, isn't it? It's just like absolute.
Yeah, it's awful. Perception of Welsh people. In 21-23, the world is enamoured with the Welsh, who have become the ultimate trendsetters. Everyone wants a piece of the Welsh flair, from adopting sheep as pets to wearing leeks as fashion accessories. How fucking original.
I know, fucking hate you.
Welsh humour has become the official international standard for comedy. Stand-up comedians from all over the globe are sent to study under Welsh masters in the art of puns, wordplay and sheep-related jokes. Tourism and cuisine. The Grand Sheep Safari is Wales's most popular attraction. Are you noticing the fucking pattern here?
Yeah.
Tourists embark on daring expeditions to spot elusive flocks of rainbow-coloured sheep roaming the valleys. The national dish, Llanfair Pwllgwyngyll Gorgerllwyn Drobwll Llantysilio Gogogwch Stir Fry, has taken the culinary world by storm.
So bad.
It's a fusion of global flavours with a Welsh twist, and yes, you still need a magnifying glass to read the recipe. Technology. Flying leeks have replaced drones for deliveries, giving a whole new meaning to airmail. Don't be surprised if you see a leek dropping off your groceries at your
That's
doorstep.
not a pun.
It's not. It's only into airmail. What's that going to do with fucking leek? Oh, so bad. Virtual reality time travel has become a thing. Tourists can now experience a weekend as a bard in the 15th century, dodging occasional flying tomatoes during poetic performances. That's the only part of that I thought, yeah, that's quite good. Do you want to see my prompt for that?
Yeah.
My prompt for that was, give me a prediction of where you think the country of Wales will be in 100 years' time. What will have changed from today in terms of culture, language, independence, and how will the world's perception of Welsh people differ from attitudes in 2023? And then I stupidly added, don't be afraid to lean into the absurd.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming they
The
meant
word quirky
absurdly
came up.
shit comedy. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's not too much to dissect there other than it's written by a Mad Lib dweeb.
I mean, if a game came out where you could be virtual reality as a fucking 15th century bard in Wales, I would probably give that a go. I'm not saying it'd be great, but I'd probably give it a little look. Why wouldn't I?
Well, that kind of goes on to my next one. I asked it to come up with a new Welsh hero. Well, I'll tell you the actual prompt afterwards. Yeah. So it said, certainly. How about a heroic figure named Rhys Emrys, a modern-day champion of Wales? Rhys Emrys is a charismatic leader who combines the spirit of Owain Glyndŵr and the legacy of Llywelyn the Last with the artistic passion of Michael Sheen. He rallies the Welsh people with his unwavering commitment to preserving Welsh culture, history and language. As a dynamic figure, Rhys Emrys uses his talents as an actor and orator to inspire a unity and spark a renaissance of Welsh pride. His efforts are not limited to just Wales. He advocates for cultural diversity and inclusivity on a global stage, embodying the spirit of a 21st century hero. His catchphrase is Cymru and Byth, together we rise, which is Wales forever, together we rise.
Yeah.
His backstory is that Rhys Emrys was born in a small village in North Wales, where he grew up immersed in the rich history and traditions of his homeland. From a young age, he displayed an innate talent for storytelling and acting, often captivating his friends and family with performances. As he matured, Rhys developed a deep appreciation for his Welsh heritage, recognising the importance of preserving it in a rapidly changing world. Becoming a hero, Rhys's journey to becoming a hero began when he witnessed the gradual erosion of Welsh culture and language due to modernisation and globalisation. He felt a burning desire to make a difference and embarked on a mission to unite his fellow countrymen. Cultural revival, Rhys founded community theatres and cultural centres across Wales, and these spaces became hubs for creativity and education. Language preservation, recognised the urgency of preserving the Welsh language. He championed language, blah, blah, blah. He did activism and advocacy. He fiercely campaigned for the protection of Welsh landmarks. Of
course.
Inclusive leadership. Embracing Michael Sheen's commitment to social justice, Rhys advocated for inclusivity, symbol of hope, blah, 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 blah. It's all that kind of stuff.
Big Michael Sheen fan. Clearly.
Yeah. And then I asked another prompt to get another story, and he said, so I asked her for a story of how he became this hero, and he said, in the heart of Snowdonia, where the mist-clad mountains met the sprawling valleys, a pivotal battle unfolded between Rhys Emrys and a formidable adversary threatening the essence of Welsh heritage. This adversary, a powerful corporation, had set its sights on constructing a massive industrial complex that would irreparably scar the pristine landscape and disrupt the delicate ecosystem. This relentless pursuit of profit disregarded the cries of the local communities and the echoes of their ancestors who had cherished and protected these lands for generations. Rhys Emrys, fueled by this unyielding love for his homeland, rallied the Welsh people and with a fervour not seen in decades. He stood at the forefront of the resistance, a beacon of determination, his eyes alight with the fire of his forefathers. Folk from villages near and far came together, their spirits interwoven with the strength of their ancestors, ready to fight for the preservation of their land. In a dramatic showdown, Rhys and his supporters staged a huge protest, forming a human chain that encircled the proposed construction site. Holding hands, they chanted the catchphrase, "Cymru am byth, together we rise." The air was electric with determination, and the resonance of their voices carried across the valleys. As bulldozers approached, the engines roared like an unholy army. Rhys stepped forward with unshakable resolve. With a voice that echoed like thunder, he spoke passionately about the significance of the land they stood upon, a land soaked in the sweat and sacrifice of generations past. His words wove a tapestry of history, reminding everyone of the heroes who had fought before them and the duty they now bore. The protesters stood firm, facing down the machines that threatened to desecrate their sacred ground. Rhys and his compatriots locked arms and embraced themselves, refusing to back down. With the spirit of Owain Glyndŵr coursing through their veins, Rhys inspired an unbreakable unity with people, forging a connection that transcended time. Nearly at the end. News of the standoff spread like wildfire, capturing the attention of the nation and the people. The people of Wales, moved by the courage and conviction of Rhys and his comrades, flocked to the site in a groundswell of support. Celebrities, activists and allies joined their ranks, amplifying the call for justice. In the end, the corporation was forced to retreat, thwarted by the unyielding spirit of the Welsh people led by Rhys Emrys. The battle marked a turning point, a testament to the enduring power of unity and the unwavering dedication of a hero who stood as a guardian of Wales. Rhys Emrys' triumphs in the face of adversity became a legendary tale etched in the annals of Welsh history alongside the feats of Owain Glyndŵr and Llywelyn. His legacy inspired generations to come, reminding them the heart of Wales would forever beat strong, nurtured by heroes who dared to stand for what was right.
Bloody hell. I was really into that.
Yeah, it's quite good. That wasn't too bad.
It's really well written. Yeah. Not bad for a fucking robot.
Not bad for a little 1 and 0. But that was...
that actually was quite good.
Oh, good on you, ChatGPT, lad.
That was pretty good, actually. No, he sounds... you're gonna... well, you're gonna laugh at my next one. But that guy was... that guy sounds alright. He sounds like
quite good, isn't
decent.
I like that. It went, instead of being too violent, it went for a peaceful pacifist. And stand up
you know
for
what
nature.
though? There's gonna come a time later in this episode where I tell you a prompt I put, and I was quite annoyed that ChatGPT didn't get a bit down and dirty with stuff.
Yeah.
Save that for later. But I did think that was good, and it was about, I don't know, maybe 2/3 through. It was like some funny stuff, and then after that, I was actually listening, going, "This is very well written.
It's quite a good story."
I was like, "I love this. Yeah. This is great."
Yeah, I did ask him to make a catch.
Give me
so the prompt was...
Go on.
Is that what you're going to say? What's the prompt?
Yeah, it was a prompt. Yeah.
So I said, can you make a new hero of Wales for the Can you make a new hero for Wales for the 21st century? Something similar to Owain Glyndŵr, Llywelyn, and including the orators of Welsh history, including modern day celebrities. So that's why I think went heavy on Michael Sheen. And then he gave a bit.
Yeah, he loves Michael Sheen.
Then I said, can you give him a catchphrase and a backstory as to how he became a hero in Wales and what actions did he take to become a hero? And then it gave me some. Then I said, can you now add a story about him in a battle against adversity of Wales?
That's a good prompt, actually. Mine was a little... Oh, there was nowhere near as detailed as that. I'll tell you my... Again, I did the same thing, basically. I was trying to imagine the next great Welsh hero.
Yeah.
And this is the response I had. So it was introducing the next great Welsh hero, Eira Pendragon, a visionary leader and fierce advocate for Wales in the 22nd century. Eira's journey is one of determination, innovation, and unwavering commitment for her homeland. Excuse me. Eira Pendragon is a descendant of the ancient Welsh kings, tracing her lineage back to the legendary King Arthur. Born in the technologically advanced yet culturally diverse Wales of the future, Eira grows up with a deep appreciation for her heritage and desire to protect and elevate Welsh culture. Eira leads a cultural renaissance that reinvigorates traditional Welsh arts, crafts and music. She orchestrates grand festivals showcasing Wales's rich history, combining modern technology with ancient rituals to create immersive experiences that captivate locals and tourists alike. Eira becomes a driving force behind the preservation and evolution of Welsh language. She champions innovative language education methods that incorporate holographic storytelling and interactive language apps, making Welsh accessible and appealing on a global audience.
Duolingo.
Yeah. Guess what? They beat you to it, Eira. Sorry, girl. Eira spearheads Wales's transition to a sustainable and green society. Her initiatives lead to advancements in renewable energy, transforming the valleys and coasts into eco-friendly havens that attract eco-tourists and inspire other nations. Drawing inspiration from her legendary ancestor, King Arthur's tales, Eira establishes Wales as a hub for cutting-edge technology. She encourages a fusion of Welsh folklore with emerging tech, resulting in inventions like Excalidator, a smart sword blending tradition with modern data encryption.
That's amazing.
Fucking stupid. Eira navigates international diplomacy with wit and wisdom. Her strategic alliances strengthen Wales's position on a global stage, ensuring the nation's interests are represented and respected in matters affecting culture, trade, and environment. Eira Pendragon's legacy endures long after her time. The Wales she envisions is a harmonious blend of past and future, where cultural heritage is celebrated alongside innovation. Her leadership inspires generations to come, fostering a sense of pride and unity among the Welsh people while forging a path towards a brighter and more sustainable future. Eira Pendragon, the visionary leader with a heart as fierce as a dragon, becomes a symbol of Welsh resilience, creativity, and the power of combining tradition with progress.
Oh, a redeeming feature there of the Excalibur band.
Security, what the fuck it was. I'm trying to find it now. The whole thing was very like fucking meek and grey and a little bit meh, but fucking, where is it now? Excalidator. I'm all for that. I tell you what, instead of plugging a bloody USB into your laptop, like a fucking smart sword, smash it with a smart sword, and you get like the latest in tech.
Should I hit you with my next one?
Or do you want to hear the
the prompt? Yeah, hit me with the
prompt for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is again. This is probably why mine are nowhere near as sort of insane, apart from like the odd little peak and trough of it to yours. Is that I just go very basic with it. My prompt was: imagine the next great Welsh hero in the vein of Owain Glyndŵr or Llywelyn ap Gruffydd. Who is this person? What will they achieve and accomplish for Wales? I feel like mine was very what's in Wales? Dragons, swords.
I did do a
tradition.
couple where I thought, they're not really that funny, so I tried to like give it some extra thingy, and like I think I'm quite used to using ChatGPT in a sense of, hang on one sec. So because otherwise it can be quite fun. Well, I don't know. Anyway, let me hit you with mine and see what you think of my next one. Sorry, I'm so bad at pouring a pint. I fucking spill it everywhere.
All of your fucking nice jogs again, is it?
Luckily, it's just over the furniture. So I asked
You
her
got
to
a
write
fiance
me.
to clean that up, am I right?
Actually, I would not. She'd batter me. No, she hates me getting things on this nice stuff. Like, she's such a lovely,
same here,
easygoing
mate, don't-
person, but
Quiet, all right? Quiet,
Yeah.
for God's sake.
things getting damaged are not. It's a big no-no. Let me.
There's a lot of wood around my house as well. You got to be careful with that shit. It absorbs beer like me.
Like Cadge GDP. So I then said, can you make a new patron saint of Wales? And it started off, I said, but make it light-hearted. And it's like introducing Saint Llanordgwrch, the patron saint of lost socks and chaotic parking. And I thought, that's as far as I got. And I thought, no, I'm not having this.
Fuck that.
It's like pilgrims all over Wales would embark on a sock-seeking quest. And I think socks is such like a shit humour. It's like, oh, aren't they wacky? So I was like, no.
when you put them in the washing machine, it fucking takes one.
It's like, scuppers on. How mad am I? I've got Homer Simpson socks. Fuck. Oh, sock humour can get in the bin.
I don't even wear matching socks. That's how alternative I am.
I've got Saturday socks on a Monday. But anyway, we're going too far down sock humour. So then I said,
The thing you hate the most. Yeah.
I went, scrap that. Can you make an extremely dark version? So it said, introducing Saint. This is, to be fair, ChatGPT's got something built in it where it can't be too awful. So I haven't actually read all this, but we'll read it together now. Introducing Saint Morbicus, the patron saint of lost souls and eternal darkness. Legend tells of Saint Morbicus, a mysterious and enigmatic figure shrouded in darkness and surrounded by an air of melancholy. Saint Morbicus is said to have the ability to guide lost souls to their final resting place, offering them a twisted salvation in the depths of eternal darkness. Those who found themselves trapped in the shadows, consumed by despair and anguish, would call upon Saint Morbicus for deliverance from their sufferings. Pilgrims would journey through desolate landscapes in Wales to reach the gloomy sanctuaries dedicated to St. Morbicus. These places were adorned with macabre symbols and eerie leaks, evoking a sense of unease and foreboding. The faithful would offer dark sacrifices and perform sombre rituals in the hopes of gaining the saint's favour. The Feast of St. Morbicus was a sombre affair, marked by candlelit processions through dimly lit streets. Participants would wear mourning attires and carry lanterns filled with pale, ghostly lights, symbolising the journey through the eternal darkness that St. Morbicus offered. Whilst the tale of St. Morbicus may be unsettling and eerie, it serves as a reminder of the complexities of human nature and the darkness that can sometimes lurk within. It's a reflection on the depths and despair that some may face, and a haunting exploration of the human psyche in its most sombre moments. As the patron saint of lost souls, Saint Morbicus was believed to provide a twisted form of solace, granting a chilling sense of peace to those who had been consumed by the abyss. His followers believed that he could grant them an escape from the torment of their existence, offering a grim release from the pain that had haunted them.
Jesus.
So drink up, kids. Eat your milk.
Yeah. Everyone come see the new St. Morbicus.
Yeah, so that's the new patron saint.
I've done, well, we've obviously, shock horror, we conferred before this about sort of the general questions we'd be asking.
Yeah.
And the same thing, I asked the same thing about the new, I wanted to make a new patron saint of Wales. Just to give the listeners a bit background. So yeah, our patron saint, St. David, or Dewi Sant, as we call him in Welsh, he is a pretty big deal. We don't get a day off for him, but he's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, because the fucking English government won't let us have the day off.
Bloody English.
The bloody Scotland have it, Northern Ireland have it. Little old Wales isn't good enough to say, oh, hang on, can we recognise our patron saint? You fucking
Tell you
dogs.
what, if you think that's unfair, leave a comment. We'll put it to government. I don't think it'll fucking do
No,
anything.
I'll walk
it'll
over
be
to
good for me.
Westminster and drop the Swede on fucking Rishi. Give
I
a
was
little
going to say
Frankie right
staple it
look.
into Rishi's fucking forehead. Yeah.
I love when people say forehead instead of forehead.
Forehead.
Love it.
It's like how a lot of people in Wales say they say tooth instead of tooth.
Yeah, and passage instead of hallway.
Yeah.
And people in the valleys, they don't say comb, they say coombe. C-O-M.
And
like
instead of pool, they say poo.
and instead of snooker, they say snooker. They say, give a snooker. Yeah. Sounds a bit Geordie. Give a snooker.
Give a snooker, bud.
Yeah.
I was going to mention, right, that I learned this, right, on a ghost tour in Dublin. But did you know, in order to be an actual anointed saint, you have to have performed
3 miracles.
At least 2. I thought it was 3. It's 2 miracles, and it be recorded by another member of the Catholic Church, right? Did you know St. David, our patron saint, did 7?
Oh.
Way over the mark.
Yeah.
Do you think it's boring if I go into what St. David's were now?
I was gonna say, mate, let's do a whole episode on him, because I think it'd be good to do here.
Yeah.
Fuck him.
Yeah, we'll do.
Yeah,
fuck him. We'll do an episode on him. Yeah. Anyway,
what an aggressive
ignore
way
7,
to
right?
say that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, all right. Ignore St. David's 7, right? He's an absolute tryhard, sweaty Betty.
Yeah.
So
he's
my
covering up for
prompt
something,
was-
nonce. Pure nonce behaviour.
bloody nonsense.
You can tell this is the
Hard drives
second
back
part
then. I bet if you
episode.
search it though, yeah. Yeah. So my problem
Search his
was St.
staff.
David.
I've seen they have
Search
staffs.
the parchments. Yeah.
Just drawing of little willies.
Yeah, tiny ones, too small to be an adult. Absolute nonsense. Anyway, right, I'm going to get back on track. So my prompt was, St. David, the patron saint of Wales, is being replaced. Who is this new saint, and how does he represent Wales as it is today, and what 2 miracles did he perform to achieve his sainthood? So here we go, this ChatGPT, master fucking 1 and 0, telling us now. Introducing the new patron saint of Wales, Saint Di the Delightful. In a twist of fate and a sprinkle of whimsy, Saint Di perfectly captures the essence of modern Wales with his charm, quirkiness, and touch of magic. Representation of modern Wales. Saint Di embodies the contemporary Welsh spirit, embracing the quirks of today's society. He's often depicted wearing a hoodie adorned with traditional patterns and sporting a smartphone, symbolising the fusion of ancient heritage with modern technology. I get the idea that ChatGPT likes to go, oh, there's no old culture in it. Maybe if we marry it with modern, old modern, maybe that'll work. Right. His first miracle was called the lively Llygod Vadlin. Props to him for using Welsh as well.
But I know what's that, like mouse?
The mouse dance.
Yeah.
Apparently, or the mouse waltz rather.
Oh, okay, waltz. That's the word I wouldn't know, because dance on Llygod End would be what
dance. Yeah. I thought that was quite impressive. They used a little bit of Welsh in there.
Yeah.
Legend, and this is it. Legend has it that Saint Di performed the miracle of the lively Llygod Vadlin during a particularly dull and rainy Eisteddfod. With a mere strum of his invisible air guitar, he enchanted a group of mice to put on a dazzling dance performance.
Oh, it's so quirky.
The spectacle left the audience in stitches and brought a much needed dose of laughter to the event.
That's how bad the Eisteddfod is. That's just general.
A couple of dancing mice, you're fucking pissing yourself laughing. So, miracle number 2, the great coffee transmutation.
Can I just say...
How millennial.
They'd have, that rapper Sage Todd, who wasn't allowed to play at the Eisteddfod because he used too much English. They'd have, I bet you they would have a cunt playing to mice over having a rapper at the Eisteddfod.
Yeah. Fucking Delightful Dairy would be playing with his fucking mice entourage there, yeah. And everyone would be fucking pissing themselves, apparently. Yeah. So this one, the Miracle 2, the Great Coffee Transmutation. And this, I can already tell you, this is fucking shit. In a coffee shop mishap, St. Di found himself facing a disastrous shortage of caffeine. Fear not, for he miraculously transformed water into the finest Welsh coffee blend, complete with frothy dragon-shaped milk art. The tale spread far and wide, cementing his reputation as the ultimate coffee connoisseur and earning him the admiration of the sleep-deprived masses.
Do you know what I realised the other
when
day?
we do our...
Can I just quickly say, if you put a country's name in front of a produce, that seems to make it sound like it's good. Like if I said like Welsh lamb or like English cheese, you know, or like sometimes they'll say like, oh, this is like Hungarian ham. It's like but you could just get like ham anywhere. Like it just, if you put a name in front of it just sounds fancy. It's like
just makes it sound like it's worth more money.
Yeah, because how you get like, it's just, I've always thought that's a mad thing to say, because I buy into it, I go, oh, actually no, this is Peruvian ham. It's like, what, does that mean anything?
Fair,
is ham better
Swiss
in Peru?
cheese. Swiss cheese sounds better than normal cheese, doesn't it? And you're right, it could be fucking anything.
There, that's my insight into culture.
Yeah. I was going to say, just for the audience, I mean, we're thinking we'll do an episode on Dewi Sant right now.
Yeah.
Or,
we're leaving that in
St.
what you said a
David.
minute ago, mate. Don't you worry.
Oh yeah. But what I'm saying is, these things, fucking making a couple of mice dance and transmuting thing to coffee,
doing coffee
that is
art.
nothing. That is literally nothing on Dewi Sant does like 7 instances of actual fucking like magic, and they're actually meant to like help people and shit like that. This guy is a fucking he's a pretender.
him.
I'm still not finished, by the way. I've still got more. He sounds like a cunt, doesn't he? He does sound like a cunt.
Well, wrap it up, mate.
Right, I'm wrapping it up. So, St. Di's legacy is celebrated with an annual festival known as Di's Delight Day. Surely Delightful Di's Day, if you're going to do it. Stupid.
Well, I'm going to say
During
something.
this event-
I've got something that
go on.
focuses around the word delight as well. Not too long in one of the other ones.
Oh, I love unintentionally like being tangential in this.
Yeah.
So during Di's Delight Day, towns across Wales hold quirky contests like smartphone
Quirky,
sheep
it's been
herding
said. Oh,
and
fuck
invisible
off.
air guitar battles. People
Air
gather
guitar
to
hasn't
enjoy
been
coffee
funny
art.
since the early 2000s.
No. People gather to enjoy coffee art competitions and spontaneous dance-offs, all in the spirit of embracing tradition and modernity with generous sprinkle of laughter. I get it, Chat GPT. You're trying to marry old and modern, classic modern. And it's so annoying that, like, I would never be at one of these celebrations. Not in a fucking million years. As St. Di the Delightful takes his place as the patron saint of Wales, he brings a fresh and hilarious twist to the nation's cultural heritage. His miracles, while humorous, remind the Welsh people to find joy in the everyday and celebrate the quirks that make Wales truly unique. Fucking hell.
Enjoy your
Get
lot.
in the
That's what
bin.
Yeah, I hate that.
Di the Delightful. You can be fucking binned out of here, mate. Rubbish.
Can I give you my... So I did 2 whilst we've been doing this tonight. I came up with 2 new ones whilst we've been on the call.
Yeah.
I asked them to... Can you create a funny stereotype of a traditional a Welshman in Wales? So I said, come up with that, build a stereotype of a Welsh person. So, do you want to meet ChatGPT's version of what a Welshman is?
Go on then.
Meet Gwilym Puddleton. So that's Puddleton, in case I didn't pronounce that right. Gwilym Puddleton, the quintessential embodiment of the charmingly exaggerated Welsh stereotype. With his perpetual ruddy cheeks and a sheep by his side, Gwilym is a jolly fellow who's never seen without a cup of tea and a pint in his hand. So that's 2 things in his hand. He's got 2 things in one hand. Sporting a tweed hat, and that's particularly a landmark in its own right. Sporting a tweed hat that's practically a landmark in its own right, Gwilym is known for his hearty laughter that can be heard echoing through valleys. He's a master of spinning yarns about dragons and wizards, often claiming that he's once had a chat with a particularly chatty dragon who fancied a cuppa. Oh, shut up. Gwilym's trusty sheepdog, affectionately named Sheep. Gwilym's trusty sheepdog, affectionately named Sheep. That's a great name for a sheepdog. Hello, Sheep. Is a more than competent pet.
Sheep.
The 2 share a bond that is the stuff of legends, as Sheep always seems to anticipate Gwilym's every wish and whim, whether it's fetching a newspaper or wandering up a stray sheep that wandered into town. That's a lot of wandering. I'll skip it. As for music, Gwilym's accordion skills are unmatched. Oh, you're so wacky. While Gwilym Puddleton may lean into a whimsical Welsh stereotype, he's a beloved character who brings laughter, camaraderie, and a touch of merriment to every corner of Wales. His exaggerated charm and endearing quirks make him both a cherished figure in the hearts of both locals and visitors alike, reminding everyone that a little lightheartedness can go a long way.
Oh. He's like Di the Delightful.
He is
Fucking
awful,
hell.
isn't he? Yeah, he's all
Jesus.
shit.
I've got two more, right? And I'm going to do my funny one first, and then I'll do my what I thought was quite a good one afterwards.
Okay.
So I went off piste here, right? And I just put into ChatGPT, I said, describe a fight between Caradog, the ancient Celtic leader, and Winston Churchill, ex-Prime Minister of Britain. And this is what I came up with. There's a couple of good bits in it. It's still a bit lame because I really wanted it to go like brutal. Like I wish I could have said
it
to
does
him, like I want to see
PG.
some visceral violence in this. But anyway, I did try and do that, but I said I can't fucking do it because I'm a fucking stupid robot without an imagination. So it said to me, in a twist of time travel absurdity, the clash of titans is about to unfold. Caradog, the fearless ancient Celtic leader, faces off against Winston Churchill, the indomitable former Prime Minister of Britain. The stage is set amidst a surreal landscape that combines rolling Celtic hills with smoky cigar clouds and Union Jack banners fluttering in disbelief.
Fucking hate that, man.
I know. And the
And
thing
if you
is,
want to know
this
why,
is
Google it.
I'm going to prep you for this, mate. You're going to hate it because it's far too generous for Churchill. Anyway. Round 1. Battle of Words. Churchill, ever the wordsmith, wields his iconic speeches like a verbal rapier. He starts with a booming declaration about fighting on the beaches and never surrendering. Caradog responds with a poetic flourish, reciting Celtic tales of bravery and freedom. Their words clash in mid-air, creating a linguistic thunderstorm that leaves spectators pondering the meaning of existence. Round 2. Duel of Styles. With swords drawn, Caradog charges with a wild battle cry, his flowing Celtic cloak billowing dramatically. Churchill stands his ground, cigar in one hand and bowler hat perched atop his head. The clash of ancient metal against modern steel resonates through the ages. Caradog's skillful movements reflect his warrior heritage, while Churchill's moves are oddly reminiscent of a genteel dance, as if he's leading the waltz with a sword. I'm pretty sure Winston Churchill couldn't fight with a fucking sword.
He was
so
fat.
fucking so fat and so drunk all the time, which I have massive respect for in that element of his life.
But just in case people
But-
don't know, he was like incredibly racist, like in massive racist. Big fan
Massive
of lots-
racist, awful to Wales as well.
Yeah,
not
he
a
sent
big-
the army to fight
not-
the miners who were trying to get better pay for them and their children.
just
and their
trying to get a bit
wives.
better pay. Yeah.
And he sent in the army to fight them and crush them. And we'll do an episode on it. But he's revered as this great person, which sure, a great wartime leader in some aspects, but he was incredibly racist, awful to the Irish, awful to the Welsh. And if you're a big fan of his, then, well, sorry.
Yeah. If you're a big fan of him, you're probably not going to listen to this podcast. Give a watch to. There's a great video on YouTube where Piers Morgan is like fucking absolutely hanging out the back of Winston Churchill, and he thinks he gets on like some little like uni student who can't debate a fucking anything.
Yeah.
To come on and like sort of roll over him, and he absolutely decimates Piers Morgan, this student, with like fact upon fact upon fact, to the point where he has to just cut him off essentially.
Yeah.
Give that a watch, it's great. And also, if you look up those facts, they're very much true. They're facts.
Yeah, he's
and
really pro. He was
was
awful to so many different countries, to black people, to India, to Bengalis, to Arabs, to Jews, to the Welsh.
a lot of
Irish.
parallels with like what white supremacy.
Well, he had a campaign called "Keep England White." He had a whole thing about getting rid of the West people from the West Indies.
He's not a good guy. He's not a guy. So this is why in this ChatGPT thing, I was a bit gutted that they put him on equal standing for a lot of it. Anyway, back to the whimsical element of it. Round 3, tactical banter. As the fight intensifies, Churchill attempts to disarm his opponent with quick-witted banter. "You would fight against progress?" he quips, raising an eyebrow. Caradog retorts, "And you would trade mead and merriment for tea and turmoil?" The audience chuckles, caught between the echoes of ancient battles and modern political manoeuvring. Round 4, unexpected allies. Suddenly, a squadron of pigeons descends from the sky, led by the ghostly visage of Clementine Churchill, Winston's wife. Caradog, in a mix of awe and confusion, receives messages from the birds in Celtic whispers. The pigeons stage a coup, demanding peace and unity. Churchill looks mildly bemused, as if he's witnessed stranger things during wartime. Round 5, the unexpected twist. With a swift and cunning move, Caradog anticipates Churchill's next manoeuvre and disarms him. Churchill's cigar falls to the ground, and as his bowler hat tumbles askew, the audience gasps in astonishment as Caradog stands victorious, his Celtic spirit and centuries-old skill prevailing over Churchill's modern tactics. Round 6. Unity through defeat. Caradog lowers his sword and extends a hand towards Churchill, a gesture of respect and honour. Churchill, though defeated, meets Caradog's gaze with a nod of understanding. In that moment, a bridge is built between the past and the present, as two vastly different worlds find common ground in the arena of camaraderie. The final round. A toast of friendship. As the dust settles, Caradog and Churchill step back from the battlefield, leaving behind the swords and echoes of their clash. In a surprising twist, they share a laugh and raise their respective cups, a chalice of mead for Caradog and a glass of fine whisky for Churchill. They clink their vessels in toast, acknowledging the value of each other's perspective and the bonds that transcend time. With a victorious Caradog and a humbled yet gracious Churchill, the arena becomes a symbol of unity, where the clash of history and modernity finds harmony in an unexpected camaraderie. I think that is the biggest load of bollocks ever. In that, Caradog would have fucking decimated Churchill, especially in a fucking physical fight.
Well, Churchill was a soldier, so in his younger days he might have been but we only know
what
him.
What are you going to do, mate? Against a big slab of Celtic beef like Caradog, mate? What are you going to do?
I'll fight you on the beaches.
Yeah, to be fair, I am thinking of him in his big fat fucking form with his little, you do the two fingers and then fucking Caradog like put the sword through his throat.
Yeah.
But it's more that I know ChatGPT is going to make it like, oh, it was all good in the end and we all had respect for each other and but I don't know. I really don't know.
Well, I just find it always difficult with him because people. What I think the most difficult thing is people who love him never acknowledge that he's got some absolutely horrendous stuff on the side, and they act like he won the war on his own. Not my granddad and your granddad and other people's granddads who listen to this, who who actually fought in it. And I just find he's a really. I think because people in England or Britain, you can't say a single bad word against him. Like the guy's bad. He's like, especially if you're from Wales, like he sent the army. One of the few times they've sent the army in against their own people because they wanted better pay conditions. And it's not like we the
thing is, you can have a guy who a gal, whoever who has done
a dame,
tremendous
abroad,
thing,
a fella,
a dame abroad, whatever, a fella, a bloke. That they can do tremendous things, even on like a worldwide scale, but still be like pieces of shit in other aspects of their life. And like that I'm not saying it's okay, but what I'm saying is you just have to accept that not everyone is like fucking pure of heart and like does everything good.
Well, they always say about him, he's a great wartime leader and a really bad peacetime leader.
But that to me says like a great wartime leader, I would assume, is probably kind of a piece of shit when it comes to peacetime, because I'm just saying, because the necessities you need in your personality to be a good fucking like wartime guy might not necessarily gel with just being chill,
Yeah, I know that because when they removed the bust of Winston Churchill from the Oval Office in America, Joe Biden did. And the UK government didn't really kick off about it because it's quite hard when you get all the facts thrown in front of you. So they was like, okay, it's fine.
Well, that's one of the things where, like you said earlier with that, how it's like, oh, he won it on his own. And in that a video I'm on about with Piers Morgan, and like sort of, obviously he was meant to be a lamb to the slaughter, this poor like uni student.
Yeah.
But thank fuck he knew his stuff. And there's a bit where he goes like, he won World War II. Piers Morgan's fucking banging on. He goes, Piers, he won World War II with like his rhetoric alone. And he's like, his rhetoric, what's he on about? He's like, it was won by the men and women on the fucking ground, like doing the fucking fighting.
Yeah.
And he goes, and he like, he has absolute brain freeze. It's so good.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Maybe
we're
we'll-
going off tangent.
Yeah, we're going off tangent. I don't want to upset people who fucking love him, but this is my podcast. I'll say what I want.
Yeah. I love it. Who fucking love him. Little fucking bumwicks.
Can I hit you my last one? I got my last one now. No. So moving away from old chubby cheeks himself, and we'll move on to another thing that could give you chubby cheeks. I've asked it to create a brand new Welsh national dish. So this is introducing Llywelyn's Lava Delight, a Welsh national dish that's as amusing as it is mouth-watering. This whimsical creation combines the rich culinary heritage of Wales with a playful twist. Llywelyn's Lava Delight is a hearty dish inspired by
Classic meets modern, is it?
It's a hearty dish inspired by the legends of Llywelyn, infused with the fiery spirit of the dragon's breath. Picture this: a massive dragon-shaped pastry filled with a delectable blend of leek and cheese, spiced with a hint of dragon-approved chili peppers. The pastry itself is golden and flaky, resembling the majestic scales of dragon's hide. As you cut it, steam escapes like dragon's breath, releasing a fragrant aroma that awakens the senses. Inside, the leek and cheese filling oozes out, creating a lava-like effect that equal part delicious and entertaining. I thought it was going to be like lava bread, but it actually means like lava.
As in like the
food lava,
molten
like
rock.
seaweed.
Yeah.
So to complete this whimsy, the dish is served with a side of dragon's fire sauce, zesty concoction that adds extra kick to each bite. And of course, no serving of Llywelyn's Lava Delight is complete without a miniature dragon figurine perched on top, ready to guard your plate. Sounds so tacky. This playful twist on a traditional Welsh dish pays homage to both Welsh mythology and the love of hearty comfort food, all the while adding a touch of humour and creativity to the culinary scene. So grab your fork, brace yourself for a dragon's roar of flavour, and dig into Llywelyn's Lava Delight. A dish that's sure to leave you a smile as big as a dragon's wingspan.
You know what the dragon figurine reminds me of? Did you ever, and I really hope I'm not alone in this, have those ice creams that were in like these plastic penguin, like fucking... they were served as like a plastic penguin. You pulled the penguin's head off, and the ice cream and the dessert and stuff was inside. Did you ever have them?
I think so.
There was a couple of versions of it. I think the penguin's the one I remember most vividly, but like there was other versions of it as well. Like if you wanted a different flavour ice cream or something, you could get the other one. That's what it reminds me of. It's like a little fucking plastic shitty dragon figurine going, here you are, and you fucking press his wings and like some chili sauce would come out of it or something like that. That's what it sounds like to me.
Well, to me, it's like it actually sounds quite nice.
It does sound kind of... I mean, I'm not a spice boy, am I? No, and of course, because ChatGPT goes dragons fire, fire hot, hot Welsh, Welsh hot stuff. That's what I'm assuming the binary code goes down.
Hot, cold, hot, mega hot. Right, so it's over to you for the last one.
Right, yes. So for the last one, right, this is a little bit more serious of a one, I guess, in that my prompt, right, was produce an impassioned speech that Caradog, Celtic leader,
You're obsessed
would tell
with
his
Caradog.
men before his last... I do love it. I love the Celts shit, mate. Before his last battle. Before I read this one out, right, I'm going to say the actual one that he said, supposedly.
Well, you should know that from our episode.
Yes, if you do follow us, you should know. So shame on you if you don't. But basically, Caradog was a Celtic Welsh leader. He lost a battle, the Romans got captured, right? And he said, basically everyone who got captured was brought before Rome and they were meant to be executed, but they had the last right to have a last word. He said this: had my moderation in prosperity been equal to my noble birth and fortune, I should have entered this city as your friend rather than as your captive, and you would not have disdained to receive, under a treaty of peace, a king descended from illustrious ancestors and ruling many nations. My present lot is as glorious to you as it is degrading to myself. I had men and horses, arms and wealth. What wonder if I parted with them reluctantly? If you Romans choose to lord it over the world, does it follow that the world is to accept slavery? Were I to have been at once delivered up as a prisoner, neither my fall nor my triumph would have become famous. My punishment would be followed by oblivion, whereas if you save my life, I shall be an everlasting memorial of your clemency. So we discussed this in the more in the Karadzic episode, but basically because of that very good speech he gave to the Romans, basically saying, if it wasn't for me, you'd have no glory, because if I fucking
And what would you
bent
do
over the barrel and took it.
if someone came to your country? I'm only doing my duties to defend it.
Yeah, if someone came to your country and said they're going to fucking rape and pillage and destroy your lands, what would you do? And he actually was spared execution, became a bit of a celebrity in Rome, actually. But I asked ChatGPT to give me an impassioned speech. What would Caradog have said in his to his men before his last battle to impassion them to fight as hard as they did? So here we go. My brave warriors of the Celtic lands, today we stand on the precipice of destiny, poised to etch our names into the annals of history. This battlefield, this crucible of courage, shall be where we reaffirm the indomitable spirit that courses through our veins. Our foes may outnumber us, and their weapons may gleam with malice, but remember this: they fight for power and conquest, while we fight for freedom and honour. Our cause is just, our hearts are steadfast, and our unity is our greatest strength. We are not mere soldiers, we are a brotherhood, bound by blood, tradition, and an unbreakable bond that time itself cannot sever. Look around you, my comrades. See the faces of your brothers in arms, men who have stood by your side through countless trials. We have weathered storms together, and today is no different. Our ancestors who fought for this land, who bled for our freedom, are watching us. Can we dare to disappoint their legacy? I say nay. As we march into battle, let your hearts burn with the fires of our ancestors' valour. Let their courage and determination guide your every step. Remember, it is not the size of the army that defines victory, but the strength of our will and the conviction of our cause. Let our battle cry echo through the hills. Let it pierce the enemy's ranks and strike fear into their hearts. Today we fight not just for ourselves, but for every Celt who has ever lived, and for those who have yet to come. Our sacrifice will become a beacon of inspiration, a testament to the unyielding spirit of our people. Do not fear the embrace of death, for in this moment we transcend mortality. Our spirits shall live on in the songs of bards and the memories of those who love this land. So, my brothers, let us charge into the fray with heads held high and swords raised. For today we do not die, but we become legends. Onward to glory, onward for our land and our people. Let our battle cry be heard across time, a testament to the bravery of the Celtic warriors who defied all odds. Let the world know that we, Caradog's faithful, fought not for ourselves alone, but for the very soul of our nation. For honour, for freedom, for the Celtic lands. Charge nigh.
That's
Pretty good, actually, isn't it, for a fucking robot?
It went, some parts it dipped, it was being a bit too fancy. But what did it say when it said, we don't have, mortality doesn't wait for us?
No. Do not fear the embrace of death, for in this moment we transcend mortality.
That's such a good line.
Is that bit? Yeah.
Yeah, that's class.
That's very good.
Yeah. When I think it goes on for too long, and then it sometimes goes a bit too like wordy.
It goes,
but some of it is
like the sort of
class.
as for a robot, it's not bad at all. But I know
Yeah.
what you mean in that it goes on too long. You wouldn't do a battle speech that long.
Yeah.
But
There's some great
it's got
lines
some
in
good
there.
highs, but the lows are very like it's definitely read like scripts from a movie, isn't it? And just
if
tried
you
to,
chop
like,
that, if you had an
input those,
editor
like,
to
things.
chop some of that down. Also, how true is it that you would fight so much more ferociously if you were fighting for? So there's that lyric in like the Dubliners song where it says, "Some men fight for silver, some men fight for silver, some men fight for gold. I fight for the land that the Saxons stole." So it's like, when you fight for something that you're not getting paid for, and it's out of passion and freedom, how much more veracity there would be in that. And I always think that I would never fight in a war that I got paid for. Like I wouldn't do it if I was getting money for it. I'd only do it if it's something you were under attack or something awful happened.
You actually couldn't pay me enough to fight for something. Is what I mean.
Yeah.
But like
Yeah,
for
life's
something
too
that was
precious,
actually
but-
real, you know. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, the money's not going to do it. But like, do you know what I mean? If it was like, you know, you'd like to imagine that we'd be on the, I'd be on the front line with them.
I'd like to imagine it, mate. I don't know if I would, but yeah, I'd like to.
Yeah, I'd be behind my chat GTP overlord saying, "Get him, boss! Go get him!"
Yeah. Go get him, Karazog.
Yeah. So that comes us. We've done another. This is clearly the second half one where we've been boozing for a lot longer because it's nearly an hour and 20. So figure out how much we cut by listening to. check how much time has passed, and you'll see how much we had to cut out of this.
Yeah.
Dear listener. But let's wrap it up there because I'm going to edit this one and it's going to take forever. So we love you forever. Keep reviewing us. I am AI Overlord. Love you. Bye.
Diolch and vow.
Diolch and vow. Pimp 7.
So,